I think it's been unprecedented times. And I don't think anybody was prepared for any of this. So I'm not surprised that people have reacted in different ways. I definitely had about 2 weeks of not really feeling creative at all and really just kind of concerned. And, that was the period where, the news was on and we're watching what happens and, you don't really know how real it is. New York, obviously, where I am has been hit hard. I was in the studio mixing my album, which I've been working on, for 3 years, the week before this happened. And so that, process got cut short. And then there was a couple of days of sort of, what is this? And then there was the couple of days of sort of stocking up and making sure that, we're prepared. So I have the whole family, taken care of. And then I started watching a couple folks going on live. And, obviously D-Nice has completely, broken new ground with what he did. And I just started to see the reaction of people that because we're separated, there's something really amazing happening where folks are gathering together around music and it's creating a community where there is no community, where we're all isolated, but then somehow the music is bringing people together. And so I sort of sat back for a couple weeks and watched that and even enjoyed it as a fan before I started to feel like, you know what, I think I want to get into this and I want to serve the people some stories through the music because I think we all need an escape right now. We're in the same place. We're not going anywhere. And so, music is a great escape and stories are a great escape. So, what I do is to combine those two things. And we decided to really like go and take this thing to the live stage and show people what I do. So yeah, it's been pretty amazing. Not a lot of people get to see me do what I do. I don't put myself, sort of in front of everything. For me, it's about the music and about the story. And so the amazing thing that I've seen from these lives is that people seeing me, like you said, people seeing me do my thing for the first time are like, wait a second, like he's really doing this live. So it's been fun and the energy has been amazing. So, for me, the music and the creativity has kind of fueled itself and the people have fueled me to keep going. And I feel like it's bringing joy to folks all over the world, so it's been pretty awesome. It's not really something that's easy to put your finger on. I think that there are definitely certain frequencies that are healing frequencies, but I couldn't tell you which ones. I think it's, the situation and the moment. And, I think that's really been the amazing thing about the IG Live experience is that, when I'm DJing in a club, you're feeding off the energy in the room and you just kind of get a feeling of what people need. In this context is very, very different. But there's still a similar thing happening where I'm sort of feeding my own need for what I feel like my soul needs. And then everybody's there with me and they're getting fed by that too. So, I couldn't explain it, but I definitely see it happening and it's definitely real. And anybody that's been keyed into these experiences feels it too. Like it takes you somewhere and it makes you feel like you're not in this mess for a little while. And I think we all need that right now. Right now, it kind of strikes me as that. Like there's a certain energy that just feels very unique to what's happening in the world right now and the power that music has, and particularly what I do. There were years where folks were like, you got to do X or you got to do Y to survive. And I was like, no, like I feel this, like I want to do this. So I think, from a young kid, my dad used to say, don't hurt your arm patting yourself on the back. In other words, don't congratulate yourself. You haven't done anything yet. And I think that's the approach that I take. I think, my manager partner in this, Ashley Fox, I'll shout out. She's constantly telling me to stop and take a minute and enjoy it. And I just don't think I'm built like that. I think that anytime I get to a level, I just see the next level up and I want to see what's up there. And not in a financial way, just in a way of like unlocking another level of the game. I see you're, in a room full of Jordans. I'm rocking a Jordan shirt right now. That's probably my biggest idol. And, you would never hear about Jordan congratulating himself. Like he went after it. And that's my approach. Like on the basketball court where I think I learned my competitive spirit, I'm not in competition with anybody else. I'm in competition with myself, with the last thing I did. And I think that creates a feeling of like, well, what, you know, what's next? Like, what else can we pull off? And it's sort of the way that I've been able to pull off these crazy things where you're right. You know, one day I'll look back and I'll be like, man. And occasionally, you know, I'll have a moment like that, but it's very, very brief. And it really only fuels me to keep going. I think, you know, to make a living out of this, to have a family, support your family, you know, all of this stuff, that's another level of the game. And, you know, you get there and you start looking at things through your kids' eyes. And then you're starting to look at it like, well, okay, what legacy am I leaving? You know, like, where is this building towards? And I think all of those things really push me to do better and sharpen things. I'm the type of dude where I just did this Tribe Called Quest Instagram live tribute on Monday, and people were losing their minds in this joint. Like, I've never seen any energy like that, not even in real life, in a club or, you know, in a show. And I stopped the thing and I was like, damn it, like I messed up 2 of those mixes. And and you know, my wife, my Ashley's like, they're looking at me like, yo, are you crazy? Like, do you know what you just did? I'm like, yeah, but I could have just, man. So, you know, I think that's just how I'm built. Like, I just want it to be tight. You know, I want it to be like the stuff that I grew up on. It's been a really busy time for me. I didn't really have time to do these Instagram live sets, but like I said, I felt that passion and that drive to go do it. But I've been working on an album for about the last 3 years, and the same perfectionism that I apply to these mixtapes and these mixes has been applied to that. And I got some amazing, amazing folks on there. I mean, man, I have probably the only Lin-Manuel rap feature verse of anybody on there. You know, Aloe Black, Andra Day, Wyclef. I have an amazing story. When I was a kid, I wrote a letter to Wyclef as a fan, and he actually called me in response to the letter. So I have a record with him telling that story that's on my album, that's gonna, you know, blow people's minds. That is in the final stages of getting prepared. So I have like 2 more mixes to do, and then I'm done with the album. And then we're just gonna figure out, you know, the appropriate time to put it out. But yeah, like these live mixtapes has turned into a real thing. So I think for me, I'm now committed to doing one every week. We also have them now going to the Roots YouTube. They've just asked me to feature them on their channel. So they're gonna be going up on YouTube. And honestly, a lot of this stuff that I wouldn't let go of before, I've decided to put it all up on Bandcamp and give, you know, the fans what they want and let them have access to these. So as soon as we make the mixtape, I record it in Serato, I flip it, and we're gonna put it up so that people can really listen to it, you know, download it, make it a mixtape like any of my other mixtapes, only it's recorded, you know, live in one take. So, you know, the pressure's on me to get it right. But, you know, I think that the live mixtape has really become a thing that I'm excited to continue with during this whole quarantine time, and probably beyond that, because this is going to last, I think, longer than we expect. And then my album, I would probably describe it, if you would describe my mixtapes as kind of like musical documentary, sort of, that the album is kind of like a musical storybook. So the songs, you know, weave in one into the next. There's like one chapter of the album is going to be like a miniature Prince Paul, Prince Among Thieves, where the whole thing is a storybook. That probably will come after this first release, but I've really just tried to bring that whole mindset into my production, and I'm really, really excited for people to hear this album. You know, my approach to the mixtapes is no filler. Every single record has to be a banger, and you know, I put Low End Theory and Illmatic and, you know, Marauders up, any album that you listen to front to back as the model of what I'm trying to create. And I feel like I've got some bangers, and it's soulful music, like you said before. So I'm really, really excited for the album to come out. And yeah, man, on the merch tip, like, yeah, we're about to do t-shirts for these live mixtapes. Folks are really excited to have that Dan Lish amazing artwork on the shirts, and that's coming. And I think we might have to do another edition of that USB, because they kind of flew off the shelves last week, and people have been asking me for more of them. So that's what's in store.